What is up, YouTube? It's Coach Tim here with another video, and today we're going to be doing another Pelicans player as well. This time we're going with 35-year-old JJ Redick. Now, JJ Redick, I mean, he is one of the best shooters probably in today's game, and probably one of the best shooters that the NBA has ever seen. This guy is an absolute dead-eye bucket from anywhere around the perimeter, and we're going to be making his build. So we're gonna go through his attributes. You see here, that boy cannot dunk. He's a straight flinger. That boy can shoot. He decently handles the ball. His defense is alright, but it's definitely not the best. So if you just want to make a JJ Redick replica, you gotta go with this video and watch exactly what I go with here in this JJ Redick build. These are his badges. Want to go through all of them. He has flexible release. His release is kind of fire in the game. I play with him a few times to play now. He has a decent release. It's just that for his size is slow because he's only 6'3". So JJ Redick, righty, shooting guard. His number, I think it's 4. Not really positive. I'm pretty sure it's 4 though. We're gonna go with 4. I definitely know on the Magic he was number 4. When he went to the NBA Finals with Dwight Howard and Vince Carter and those guys. That was a good team. They just unfortunately had to play Kobe Bryant. You know, RP to him, but that's one of the top 3 players of all time. So the pie chart. I mean, if you don't go with this one, you don't know who JJ Redick is. So the pie chart, honestly, his vertical was higher than his speed, like in the attributes. Pretty sure. So I went with this one because I just did, because you want a higher vertical because vertical helps you jump and be more athletic. So the attributes: 85 shot close, which is max. Driving layup up is 70, which is also max. Driving dunk has 64. That boy can't really dunk, but that's where we had to put the extra attributes in. We had to give him summon. And even in his prime, he could dunk a little bit. With his prime, he didn't really try to dunk, but he could dunk. So we're being nice to him and giving him some nice dunking ability. So you end up with 1 finishing, even though you have some decent attributes. Now this is pretty self-explanatory. You're going to max everything except the post fade. The post fade will be a 63 because that's what he has. It's 27 shooting. That's a lot of shooting badges. Pass accuracy 83. Ball handling is 75. You have a decent ball handle with this build. With 10 playmaking and 75 ball handle, you have a decent amount of playmaking to be able to work with this. Interior defense 39, perimeter defense is 73. His lateral quickness is a 70. 74 steal. 69 block, which is max. Offensive is a 30. His defensive rebound is 75. So that's 75. We also had to give him those attributes. That boy can't rebound for his life, but we had to put it somewhere, and we couldn't put it too much on slashing because he's not anywhere near a slasher. But we want to also give him some defensive badges because he's a decent defender. Like, he's not a full liability, but when he's in his zone, he could decently clamp up. Especially because I watched a lot of Pelicans games, and JJ Redick can clamp up. He has decent rotations, especially when he was younger. He had decent rotations, but as his old fart 35-year-old, it's hard for him to move his body, even though he's pretty quick. But I had to give him a little bit of defensive badges because this build can be a full liability on defense. So you end up with 1 finishing, 27 shooting, 10 playmaking, 7 defending. You could definitely work with 7 defending. The build, I went with solid because he's not a skinny guy and he's a pretty buff dude. So, but I didn't want to go with burly or built because that's not how he looks. So I went with solid. I feel like it was the most realistic thing. He's pretty heavy for a guard, but he's not muscular. So this is probably the most realistic thing I could see to him. 6'3", ball handling goes up to 78, which is really good for you guys. 79 speed, 77 vertical. The defense goes up a little bit, not the steal and the block and stuff. You're not gonna block anyone. But the lateral quickness goes up. Driving layup goes up. The dunk goes down. JJ Redick doesn't dunk anyway. The weight, he weighs 200 pounds. He's a pretty heavy guard. 200 pounds for a 6'3" guard is pretty heavy. Strength goes up. Acceleration goes down. You don't really need interior defense. So, and his wingspan, he has the same wingspan as his height. And the smallest one is 75. So you have 81 ball handle, 95 3, This is honestly a really decent build. You could really run with this competitively because your ball handling is so high. If you get it up to a 99 overall, you could be able to speed boost with an 85. With the speed too, you get a +4 and a +5. You'll have an 80. You have an 83 and an 84 speed when it gets to 99.9. You could definitely speed with that build, and that build you'll be very good with this build. This build is honestly not that bad to what JJ Redick could be. So the takeover, I mean, when JJ Redick's in his zone, it's absolutely sharpshooting. There's no other option. It could be shot creating because he does come off a lot of screens, but I feel the sharpshooting takeover is just that's JJ Redick. Everyone knows him as a spot up shooter. And the build you have is a playmaking shot creator. Now, I'm very positive you guys weren't expecting playmaking shot creator, but his playmaking so high, 2K gave the name as a playmaking shot creator. So you could really confuse people with this build, pulling out a play shot. People think it's the meta play shot, but it's just a regular sharpshooting wing type of build. We're gonna test the build here. The similars are P. Maravich, CJ McCollum, Bradley Beal. I mean, I'm not very positive you can get a JJ Redick similar to, but those are pretty good representations of a shooting, decently playmaking, defending build. 99 overall. So we're gonna go backwards like usual. Defense, you gotta go with clamps, you gotta go with intimidator, and I would go with either interceptor, or if you're like a really sprint turbo guy on defense, you go with tireless defender, but I would go with interceptor. Playmaking, quick first step. Now, if you're running this thing at the 1, I don't recommend it running at the 1, but if you are, you gotta go with the same setup I always go with. Not post spin, don't do that. Unpluckable, and you can throw probably one on NATO Threader if you want to go with that. Even at the 2, you can throw them with this because you could be a secondary ball handler, so I'm actually gonna keep it like this. I mean, what else are you gonna put it on? Honestly, you're not gonna put on no damn ring shake. Pass fake maestro, I don't even know why that's even a badge. I mean, so this is probably the best thing you can go with right here. Shoot, I'm gonna go with shooting last. Finishing, I mean, I would go slithery just if you get stuck in a driving situation. You gotta be able to get a nice animation. That badge is really underrated. Shooting, this is easy. Quick draw, rain extender, hot zone, green machine. I would go with gold. You can go with Hall of Fame if you want. Gold is good for me. Gold volume. You gotta go with hot start. You run some Deadeye on silver. And here is preference. I personally, with if I had this build, I would go right here. Right here. This is what I would go with. Right? You don't really need the catch and shoot. You don't need the corner specialist. You don't need anything else. You can maybe even go with difficult shots if you want to lower these right here. Oh wait. If you want to be a really toxic fading guy, you can go with difficult shots. I personally don't think you need it. Or if you want to be just like JJ Redick, you want to throw these on. Definitely want to go with this. I mean, he's a god coming off screens, and this badge will really help you. It's not a full, like you could go off screens without this badge, but this badge will even help you even more with that. So it depends on how your playstyle is. But what I would go with is right here, like I went originally. I would go with these right here. These are the most important badges to me. These 7 right here are the most important badges right here. These are OP. And that, my friends, is the JJ Redick most identical build that you can make. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.